Hey Mark, this is RJ with the Rush Premier Sports. I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit of the basic things. I tried uploading this the other day and the space wasn't quite working, but I think I got it all sorted out. So on the top was the original, on the bottom was the slightly adjusted, and we were really just talking about kind of rotation and kind of getting the body to rotate. We're also trying to kind of work on our shoulder plane, kind of finishing the swing, getting the shoulders a little bit more level. So what I meant when we go to this top of this, if we go to the backswing on the top video here, which is your original, you can kind of see, you have a pretty good turn. We might talk a little bit about backswing on the next lesson, but we can just see, a little bit of pressure on the left foot, a little bit in the backswing, which we kind of want to get that on the right foot just a little. But we'll talk down the line. But from this view, I want to show you kind of as you come through, you can kind of see, you can see the right hand work a little early, and you can see the right hand work under. Okay, and what it does is it kind of gets our shoulders kind of pointing straight down this way. So if I change the color here, you can see the shoulders working kind of this way, and you can kind of see the left or the right hand very much under the golf club. Okay, so when we're swinging through, as we're coming through this way, you can see the right hand kind of work under, and it kind of gets the shoulders very steep, and then we kind of stop. So if I stop the swing about here, back up a little bit. Right about here, we can kind of see the angle of the head, the right ear kind of to the ground. You can kind of see where the eyes are, looking more this way. But the shoulders in general, we would call very steep kind of here. Okay. The lead leg is very straight. It's straightened very early. So that's why that right knee is kind of kicked a little bit forward, which we'll see from down the line. And so we can work on that with leg work. But I want to show you here is just kind of the steepness in the shoulders, but overall just how the body itself pretty much stops when we swing through. So as we swing through, you can kind of see the right hand kind of hit. Okay, so the right hand kind of hits, the left leg locks up or posts, and that creates some steepness in the shoulders and in the body. And it gives us a little bit of a scoop, and that's where that club face can kind of shut down or open up as we go. So this one, we're kind of working our half to half, or we're trying to do our hinge to rehinge. So we have a pretty good turn here. So if I compare the two, get in the same spot. So here, as we're working on the rotation of our shoulders, we can kind of see we have a little bit more of a centered pivot, a little bit more rotation kind of inside, versus here where we're kind of have that left hip a little bit more kind of outside my foot here a little bit. So you can kind of see a little bit more hip rotation in the one in the bottom. It gives us a good shoulder turn. And we also just have like a little bit of an earlier hinge or earlier set versus this one here. So that's kind of the differences in the backswing. We will talk a little bit of backswing playing and how it can help us and maybe some adjustments we can do when we get to down the line. But for now on the bottom, so we have a very good turn. We have good width, which is the distance from the hands and the body themselves, which is very important. And now as the arms fall down, we can kind of start to see the body rotate. So here at impact, there you can see a little bit of flex in the lead knee, which is very good. That's going to help the pelvis rotate. Versus this one. Oops. So as I come through to run one more frame, you can kind of see how straight this leg is. Okay, and then where our shoulders would be in about that position. And then here, as the left leg has a little bit of flex, you can kind of see I can still draw this line. It's going to look kind of similar, but realistically what we're looking at is kind of from down the line of how the shoulders are working around the spine. So if I get you kind of through just a little bit, you can kind of now see where the spine angle itself right here, it's just very neutral. But most importantly, that this right shoulder is much higher here versus this one. You can kind of see how much down it is. So that's what I mean by the steepness of the shoulders. So if I get you to this point here, we can kind of see where the right ear is kind of to the ground and the right shoulder is kind of to the ground. This one, you can kind of see the right shoulder much more up. And we did that by getting this left shoulder. If I back up, this left shoulder starts to work more around the body that way. So as this shoulder starts to rotate around, it'll help us when we get to release, and releasing using both hands and both arms. You can kind of see the left shoulder rotating around, and that allows the head and the eyes to follow the golf ball. We still want to lock the left leg up a little bit, so we want to kind of keep some flex in that. That's going to kind of go, it's going to help us with the release and other things as well. But just to review, we're just kind of working shoulder levels. So we're going hinge, so grip to the ground. We're letting the arms fall, and then we're trying to get the shoulders and the upper body to kind of rotate around us. Next lesson, we'll start to talk a little bit about lower half, but I just wanted you to see a little bit of kind of what I was explaining. But on this one, we can kind of see as we hit, we basically just stop. So the body kind of stops. I think that would be your full swing there. The body kind of stops. You can kind of see we still have a lot of pressure on the ground here. Not much rotation in our shoulders. And on this one, we can kind of see as we get the shoulders more level and as we're rotating, you can see your chest, or the jacket that you have on. You can see the black zipper on the chest. You can see how it just kind of follows the arms. It's pointing to the target, and then we're much more up onto our trail foot here. So we're just allowing the body to kind of finish the rotation. So that's level to level, just working kind of on the shoulder plane, and just really adding some rotation.